My name is Dr. Jonathan Daniel Gallagher, but you can all call me John. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you this morning, sharing with you a little bit of my research, and hopefully leaving you with some nuggets, right, of some information, some tips that you can take away in your skilled trades, recruitment, and of course, retention. I'm going to have some help from some slides. You're going to see them on your screen in a moment. They should appear shortly there. It says how to attract and retain young people to the skilled trades. And I am someone who's, if I had an introduction there, I've done a lot of research on skilled trades workers, workers in other types of jobs as well, but so many things have jumped out to me about skilled tradespeople that I think not enough people, as some of you well know in this room, are aware of. So we'll dive into a lot of that. I am someone who, when I start out with research, for anyone here who's familiar with research, you start off with what's called a research question, right? Well, this is my research question. It's a guiding question. If I was in the room with you today, I would be asking you to shout out your answer to this question, right? What makes a good job? So I'll just let you maybe think about that. What makes a good job? We all want a good job. Well, when I ask more Canadians this question, just like I asked you, I get two groups of answers, everyone. I get, you could say, financial types of answers to this question, what makes a good job? Like probably someone maybe even shouted out there, good money, right? Great salary, benefits, dental plan, massage therapy, right? A little bit of extended vacation time, advancement opportunities, the ability to earn more money, better benefits, ideally quicker, job security, especially in the age of COVID-19. We're trying for sure to have jobs that will be there during a crisis, or 5, 10, 15 years from now, so one can continue to earn money. Financial types of answers to this question, what makes a good job? As well, everyone, lots of answers that are more personal in nature. A good job is one that's fun. It's fulfilling. Maybe you have good coworkers. You like the people that you work with. A good job, according to many, is one where you can say how you help people in some way. There are some people, maybe in this room, but more likely others in your life who are maybe doing well on the left side of the page here financially, but when asked, how do you make a difference in the world? How do you make a meaningful contribution to society? How do you improve people's lives through your work? They have difficulty. They got to reach down deep to try to answer that question. Work-life balance, having a separation between home and work life, increasingly in demand today in an age when everything is becoming more and more digital and you have an overlap between home and work. And a good job is one where you have a great boss, or maybe you can be your own boss, have that opportunity to be a successful entrepreneur. I also was very interested in what parents were thinking last year, just sort of getting out of the pandemic. I was interested in what they thought a good job was. And this is a word cloud, as you are probably familiar, a visual representation of the most common answers. And you can see here, just by looking at this word cloud, some patterns here. Again, a good job is one where you make a difference, advancement opportunities, job security, flexibility, benefits, good culture, low stress, work-life balance. But everyone, it's pretty clear for parents when thinking about a good job, it's one that just pays well and is fulfilling. But I wanted to go deeper. I asked parents what they consider to be very important when thinking about a job for their kids today. Everything is important, okay? So I wanted to ask, what is very important? And you can see here, it gets really interesting. 87% of parents, again, they just want their kids to be happy. But here's where it gets really interesting. 81% of parents, it's very important that their child in their future job have work-life balance. And 78% say they want their kids to have good health benefits. And 73% say they want their child to have a job that allows them to stay active and healthy and have a job that is secure. Do you all know of any areas of work where these Very important characteristics of a good job can be realized. Of course, it's in skilled trades, right? And many parents maybe just aren't aware of that. More, we call these open-ended answers, right? Gig work is not an option. I want my kids to have a secure job. The importance of job stability and the ability to work independently. Having an essential job is an important consideration right now. I would like my child to have a job that they will not lose during a pandemic. Interesting. And yet, when you ask parents, what do you expect your child to do after high school? There it is, university. I expect my child to go to university, 47%, college, 23%. That's a total of 70% expect after high school. Expect my kids to go to college or university, and just 10% say apprenticeship. I went deeper. I asked parents, tell me about your university-bound children, Describe them. More than half described their university-bound children as interested in math and science, as having great problem-solving skills. My child has excellent hand-eye coordination. They enjoy outdoor activities. They're creative and artistic. For anyone looking at these qualities carefully, you're saying to yourself, hold on, it turns out that many university traits are also skilled trades traits. And of course, that's correct. Skilled trades people, they apply math and science, problem-solving skills. They get to apply hand-eye coordination. They get to be outdoors. They get to, right, enjoy the outdoors. And they have, of course, in many disciplines, the ability to apply their creative and artistic skills in the skilled trades. I've studied thousands of Canadian workers in all kinds of jobs, and maybe there are a few people in this room who are familiar with the work I've done. But I did a very big study of Canadians when I asked them to think about their job, Canadians in all kinds of jobs. And I had them respond to 50 statements about their job. And for each statement, they had to tell me, is it true for you, partly true, or not true at all? So I'd love for everyone here, as I show you just a sample of those statements, those 50 statements. This was a 45-minute survey, a very long survey. Play along if you'd like. I'm just going to show you 10 and just say to yourself, true for me, partly true, not true at all when thinking about your specific job. I like having the freedom to make my own decisions at work. True for me, partly true, or not true at all. I think my job is cool. My work brings me peace of mind. Doing my job makes me truly happy. True for me, partly true, not true at all. A few more examples. Most days I find my work interesting. I feel a special bond with other people in my field. I like that I can be myself at work. Hard work, it pays off in my field. We also, everybody asked about the negatives. You can learn a lot by how people respond to negative statements about their job. My job is much too stressful. Maybe you know someone who said this, if it wasn't for the money, I would quit my job tomorrow. Hopefully no one in this room has said that, or maybe you did about a prior job. So when you show these statements and 50 more to Canadians in all kinds of jobs, everyone, what we end up with are patterns, right? Patterns. And these are how the patterns sort of work themselves out. We have 5 groups here of the Canadian workforce, depending on how people responded to those statements. Now, in a separate presentation, I walk you through slowly each one of these slices of the pie. But just briefly, I would say here we have square pegs, a group of workers who are, unfortunately, if you wanted to be blunt, you'd say they're miserable right now, not very happy, don't get a lot of meaning from their jobs, just working for the money, 11% of the Canadian workforce. Bottom rungers, a group of workers where we have more of our entry-level workers across all kinds of jobs, want to make a difference, excited about the future, but some are more frustrated than others because a key a desire among this group of workers, everyone, is to climb the ladder, to have a guide, to have a mentor, to show them the way, how they can advance, how they can do the things correctly, or without making a lot of mistakes, just sort of be there to help them and guide them. And that kind of mentorship is not available in all kinds of careers. It's only available in certain areas. Musketeers, if you know someone who worked in the healthcare industry, works in policing, law enforcement, works with people in service of others, helping others, spends a lot of their time working with people pleasers, very noble, very important, very necessary, also stressful, as it turns out. A group here that's more likely to say that they have stress in their jobs and they have to balance that stress, but also very special, they have a bond with their coworkers, a closeness. They're more likely to think of their coworkers as brothers and sisters, family members, which makes them go into work every day, even if it's a stressful environment. But the real headline here is what you see on the left side of the pie chart, where we have the happier groups, it turns out, the comfortable, where we happen to have many skilled tradespeople who had an earlier life buying homes, buying condos, buying vehicles, starting families, going on long vacations, and very importantly, having work-life balance. When they're done work, they leave work at work, and then they come home and they don't have to be at the dinner table and responding to work via an internet-connected device on the weekend, on vacation, and so on. So many are in skilled trades careers that have this work-life balance by the nature of their jobs, and fulfilled, where we have people who have work-life integration, where they do work outside of the workplace, the work day, the traditional work day. They bring their work home, but they like it. But an important reason why they like it is that they have control over their job. And when you have control over your job, that contributes to feelings of fulfillment. It's why we also see skilled tradespeople in this group on the left who do have control over their tasks. They see the results of the work immediately. So that's why we also see people in skilled trades in this fulfilled group too. But to summarize, we have a phrase in research. It's called the data don't lie, right? The data don't lie. So tradespeople are among the happiest workers in the country, but many people aren't aware of that. And it's not just because many Canadians can't name a skilled trade. When you ask Canadians, name a skilled trade, of those who can name one, they say plumber, carpenter, and electrician, and welder is number 4. They don't know about the, you could argue hundreds of other different types of skilled trades, depending on how you want to categorize them. It's not top of mind. But more important, I think, when they do hear about skilled trades, the main message from many different stakeholders, maybe some people watching today, is that, yeah, you can make good money, okay? Well, if you could make good money in the trades, if that was reason enough to enter the trades, we wouldn't have a shortage, would we? Right? The message needs to be improved. And on that note, I really believe that the skilled trades have a marketing problem, right? And this is something to really take seriously in the face of all other types of career areas that are competing for the attention of your future employees. So with that, I want to say something about marketing and this process of marketing. And I hope that you'll really, stay with me through this explanation and think about either your specific sector within skilled trades, or maybe your company or organization itself. It's very tempting to just go really broad. We have to be specific when it comes to marketing. So marketing is the process of creating value for a target audience, creating value, communicating value in the right way, and strengthening value once you get that customer, that employee, through relationships. So by way of some common examples, we have, for example, Netflix. Everyone should be familiar with Netflix. They created value, right, by offering commercial-free, for the most part, programming at an affordable price for families. Right? They communicate that value by promoting that and social media sites, digital media, making their association with their company obvious with award shows and celebrities and more. They strengthen value by having an algorithm that will recommend, based on your viewing, some content that's different, or rather unique according to you, and different from your family members. It gets to know you more and more, forms that relationship. Coca-Cola, okay, Coca-Cola creates value by associating their otherwise unhealthy product, right? This is, I'll just show you here. Hopefully you can see that. Otherwise, oh, you're probably wondering what that is. It's not cocaine, okay, I promise. It's a bag of sugar. It's 17.5 grams of sugar. Excuse me, it's 70 grams of sugar, 17.5 teaspoons of sugar. And I think you know where I'm going with that, right? It's the same amount of sugar in this bottle. But we don't see that, right, when we're buying this product, because Coca-Cola invested heavily in associating their product, creating value by associating their product with happiness, right? And they communicate that value by making sure that they are the sponsor of events where people are at their most happy, right? Like the Olympics, for example. I'm willing to bet many most athletes don't drink Coca-Cola, right? But they are there because that's where people are really happy, and they strengthen value by doing all kinds of initiatives with their customers, including allowing them to create a label, right? Share a Coke with your name on it, and many other initiatives. But the point, everyone, is that whether it is a streaming service or a furniture company or a soft drink or an athletic apparel company or a specialty school or a series of books, or of course an association, an industry association, or a jewelry company, all successful organizations must carefully really think about their target audience, okay? Create value for them, communicate value in the right way for that audience, and strengthen relationships once they are lucky enough to capture that audience. So too does it apply in the promotion of jobs to career seekers. So let's talk then about these 5, you could call them steps here, to attracting and retaining young people to the skilled trades. Really understand your target audience. Create a message that addresses a need. Promote your message strategically. Always be asking questions. And of course, maintain mentorships. We'll touch on each one. Let's start off with the one that should be the easiest, but some of us really stop really early in terms of really understanding your target audience. What are their demographics? This is for many people what they know, right? We like, some of you might be saying, well, we want to get more women into our company, into our sector. That's good, okay? And we really like the workers that we have right now. We know a little bit about them demographically. Do you know what they care about most? Think about that person that you have working with you, that young worker that you really think is great and you want more of them. What do they care about most? Do you know? If not, try to find out. What do they aspire to do, to be, to have? Do you know? If not, find out. You want more great workers like that individual or like that small group? How can you get more of them? Really understand what they care about and what they aspire. What challenges are they facing? And really importantly, thinking about your company, your association, your sector, what is it that you can offer that will make their lives better? How are you, or how can you address the challenges that they're facing? And as I hinted at earlier, everyone, let's avoid the temptation to say, we will give them money, right, in exchange for their labor. We'll give them good money. That's a good reason, but it's not a reason that differentiates you from other areas of work that are competing for their attention. They will give them good money as well. We're not the only sector that offers good pay. Let's accept that. Create a message that addresses a need. Okay, we saw earlier, open happiness, guts, glory, RAM. Notice the simplicity. Thinking about your company, your association, can you answer this question? What do we provide in 1 or 2 words? This is something called a 1-word or 2-word equity. What is it that we provide? Coca-Cola, happiness. Guts, glory, RAM. Okay. How can we make our audience feel better? Try to get into that emotional state that maybe you can improve upon. I'm going to give you some examples in a moment. Before I continue, I just want to also address this idea of positivity among your recruiters, among the people who are at the table thinking about how we can improve our recruitment, improve our retention. I call these folks, and I mean this in the most polite way, the yeah butters, right? Maybe there's some people here. Yeah, but the skilled trades, it can be dirty. Yeah, but, kids don't want to get up early anymore. Yeah, but, it can be labor intensive, physical work. Yeah, but everybody, open happiness, not open happiness. And you can unclog a drain or clear a rusty car battery with our product. Guts, glory, RAM, right? It's not guts, glory, and a poor fuel economy, right? For a vehicle of this size. I drive a Yukon, I would know, okay? Positive, keep it positive when you are promoting an area of work, right? Or your company. This is something that you're not, it's not intended for you to be able to read. It's just to really show you, if you could see all those little words there, our emotions, our personality types, our archetypes. It's just one map of several maps that have looked at the sort of interrelationships between all kinds of emotions, personalities, close to 8,000 of them. Why I'm showing you this is to let you know about the importance of making research-based decisions when going after a target audience. All of the successful companies, they do research on the people that they're trying to attract to get them to become loyal, certainly after getting them as customers in the first place. And if you end up just guessing, making assumptions about what people need, you can make a mistake. And I'm going to show you an example of what I believe to be a mistake. I think some of you are aware I'm from Ontario, so I'm going to pick on my own province here. And here is an example of, in my opinion, a not a good ad. I'll put it that way, and I'll let you also watch it and form your own conclusions, and I'll say more about that. Hopefully this will play, it'll stream okay into the room. Here we go, 30 seconds.
Make more than a living. Be proud of what you do. Enter the trades, where you can be proud of what you give, proud of what you know, and proud of what you build. Be proud of what you do with a career you wouldn't trade. Explore the trades at ontario.ca/trades.
All right, everyone. So if you were able to, hopefully it's streamed okay, and you were able to watch that ad, you would have noticed a few things. You would have noticed that it's very dark, right? Which already it has an association, with, frankly, being the opposite of bright and attractive and open, right? When you see something that's really dark. You also noticed maybe that not a single person in that ad was smiling, right? No one's smiling. We are human beings that evolved to look at people's faces. And when we see someone who is frowning or looking tough, sometimes we associate that many times with someone to stay away from, even maybe a bully. But most importantly, you heard, if you listen carefully, the word proud forced on you 5 times in 30 seconds. Everyone, I don't know if you're aware, but you probably are. Today's young people, they're pretty proud already, okay? Pretty proud of themselves. And as it turns out, proud is not a desired feeling among younger workers today, young people. In fact, proud is the opposite of feeling ashamed. That is the emotion that it addresses. And by the way, proud is an emotion that the Canadian military, the US military armed forces, that they own, and even with their huge budgets, have not been able to meet maybe just over half of their recruitment budgets in last year. Okay, and even Tom Cruise's very expensive movie, high energy, awesome movie, Top Gun Maverick, didn't move the needle on recruitment. Proud, everyone. Unfortunately, despite maybe you wanting to promote that message, there are others that will resonate a little more strongly with the needs that young people are feeling. So one of those is the fact that today young people are very, very tired, all ages actually too, but young people as well. It's not just because of streaming media, which is the case there. Everybody's staying up later, watching more content, and that unfortunately is having an effect on people's sleep. But feeling like you're tired also is the feeling of not doing what you were meant to do. And the opposite of tired is not awake, it's not energized. The opposite of tired, everyone, is feeling alive. And we actually, if you ask yourself that question, when do I feel alive? There's a good chance you feel alive. It's not when you're constantly sitting in front of a screen. It's when you're out, when you're moving, okay? When you have activity, when you have variety. So feeling alive is an important message that our young people need to hear. Sitting is unfortunately, we're only going to see more of our younger people spending more time sitting in a digital age. If you think the era of online learning is over, sorry, it's a moneymaker, and more institutions are going to be offering online learning where students will constantly sit for many hours in front of a screen. Well, I think this intuitively, but I'll just give you a phrase that you should keep in mind. Sitting is the new smoking, right? Sitting is the new smoking. And if you Google that term, you'll find all kinds of articles making the very real connection between prolonged sitting and increased risks of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and more. Give young people what they really crave, right? And that's movement and activity. And that can be something of a focus when promoting your particular sector or your company. Digital, increasingly digital today, artificial intelligence, machine learning, the notifications, the disruptions, the distractions, only going to be more prominent in our young people's lives. Offer them something, an escape, getting into the tactile world, and then come home and dive back into that digital. But we need a break in our lives. And for many, that can be found in the most active waking hours of our day, which is at work. Feeling alone is also something that our young people have been reporting. Unfortunately, it's counterintuitive, but the more connected we are digitally, it doesn't translate into feeling of togetherness. We feel more rather less alone, and a feeling of being of oneness with people when we're actually with them face to face. So offer up that sense of teamwork as an advantage of getting into the skilled trades. Anxiety levels are up as well, year over year. I think the last statistic I saw was 1 in 6 people reporting anxiety levels, and then another one said 1 in 5. The opposite of anxiety, right, is not calm. Right? It's not as we might think it is, but the opposite of anxiety is having guidance, having certainty. So again, don't forget the importance of the skilled trades tradition of offering mentorship to young people as one that stands out from other types of careers, critical of importance to people's mental health today. So again, what do we provide in 1 or 2 words? How will we make our audience feel better? And who on our team, right? Who on our team needs to be more positive when we're talking about careers in our sector? So everybody, If you have that message, you have that 1 or 2 word equity, maybe it's going beyond just the money that can be made. We have a phrase in research, or rather in marketing, that we want to avoid. It's spray and pray, right? You spray your message out and you just hope it lands on the right people. Don't do that. You're going to waste your money. You're going to blow your budget. Okay, so promote your message strategically. Where does our target audience live? Where do they live? Do you know? Do they travel along a certain route where you can put a billboard? Do they live in apartment complexes, right, where you could put an advertisement when people are waiting for the elevator? Okay, what can you know about where they live and where you can reach them with your message? What do they do in their spare time? Is it at a sports arena, a community center? Maybe they're spending a lot of time on certain online, as we all do, but where? Do you have that information? Where are you likely to find these people with your messages? You might actually think that more men are on Instagram, users of Instagram, than of YouTube. It will surprise you, but more men are on both Instagram and YouTube in terms of users. Well, more, I think 54 to 56% of users of YouTube and Instagram are men. Women are more along the lines of the content creators, but the people who are using it as passive users are men. You can find them there. On the right is a young woman. Her name is Celeste. She has maybe 50,000 Instagram followers on her Instagram page, right, about her journey to becoming a brick and stone mason. And I asked her, I said, Celeste, have you ever had an association sponsor you, a union sponsor you? Have you been approached? She said, no. Right? I mean, she has an active following of people who are interested in her career, following her, inspired by her, and no one's approached her to do a sponsorship reel or Instagram post. Got to find out that information. Where did your current employees find us? Okay. So where did they come from? Maybe you can go back, right, and get more of those individuals, either from a particular place or just in terms of their state of mind, right? Where were they in their life before coming to us? What were they doing? That takes understanding your current employees. What area, what sector were they in? And how can you get more of those individuals? I'll say just briefly here, men and women, as it turns out, the research, we have this phrase, the data don't lie. Men and women are everyone different, okay? Not only thanks to evolutionary biology, but also in the ways, this comes out in the ways that people respond to surveys. And I'll just share with you to give you a little bit of an edge here. If you have the time and effort to differentiate your messaging between men and women, it could give you an advantage. So women today are more likely than men to experience more positive emotions. So you can see that on your screen there. 17% more likely than men. Women are 17% more likely, 18% more likely than men to say that they experience feelings of caring, being grateful, blessed, love, and empathy. All good things. And notice men feel these things too, but women are more likely to report feeling these emotions, as well as negative emotions, unfortunately, today, more likely to report feeling overwhelmed, stressed, fatigued, and worried. This certainly can be chalked up to the pressure that's placed on women in a caregiving role, but also notice stuck, unconfident, insecure. How can those negative emotions be addressed by your sector? Positive personality traits. Women are more likely to say that others would describe them. I'll just read the highlighted words here: organized, helpful, loyal, hardworking, trustworthy, reliable. Characteristics that I've learned over the years that are of high value, right, to employers in skilled trades, and more reason to try to attract more women into the trades. Men are more likely to say others would describe them as a sports fan, okay, 20% more likely than women. Diplomatic, intellectual, professional, entrepreneurial, a leader. But the biggest and this is the busiest slide here. I'll take you through it very quickly in terms of highlighting key words. What women value compared to men. Again, men value these things too, but women much more. Find the patterns here, everyone. Women are much more likely than men to say that they value being understood and appreciated for who they are, not allowing yourself to be disrespected, having integrity and being true to your word, getting back your self-respect and self-worth. Everyone, if you were to look at the patterns in these highlighted rows, one of the main areas there is this value on earning respect, much more important to women than to men. When shown these statements among both men and women, more learning to love and respect yourself, learning to stand up for yourself, being strong and confident, being independent and self-reliant, developing your skills and abilities. What's the common thread here, everybody? Right? It's building self-confidence, And what a great way to do that in skilled trades, by putting a power tool in a young woman's hand, by getting them behind the wheel of an enormous structure. And again, women more than men put high value on being financially secure and having a good, stable paying job. Important as well, but clearly be earning respect and developing self-confidence should be part of that recruitment messaging. And for men, you saw earlier, 20% of men describe themselves as sports fans. Men are also to value winning, proving themselves, keeping up with the latest tech, right? And becoming an expert in their field. I would say, everybody, that this translates into winning. Men, more than women, put a high emphasis on winning. We like to say building leadership. Guess what? Not everybody is, I think, as you know, can be a leader. Not everybody wants to be a leader, but certainly most people, especially men, as it turns out, the data don't lie, want to be part of a winning team. How can you, in your messaging to men, emphasize maybe a little more that by being as part of our sector, our company, you're going to win in your career and win at life? Once you are so fortunate to have them, everybody, in your corner, working for your organization, always be asking questions. You've heard this phrase before, ABC, always be closing. Well, ABAQ, okay? Always be asking questions. What prevented our employees from applying? Is there something that they were on the fence about that you can keep in mind, so that when you can make sure that you don't make that mistake the next time, right? What prevented them? Because if it almost prevented somebody, it definitely prevented others. Okay, how can you get ahead of that? Well, who or what did they consult before deciding? Was it a website? Was it a guidance counselor? Was it a parent? But especially if it's some kind of resource like a YouTube video or a blog article, how can you get that, right? And add that to your recruitment arsenal. And if you don't know the answer, go on and get it. Always be asking questions. Do they miss anything about their previous jobs? How can you bring that back and somehow address what they're feeling as a gap? Are they better off now than a year ago? Have you asked that question? If you haven't, do so. And everyone, what are our industry competitors doing better than us? You might know. You might, as a leader, have that answer, but it might be different than what your employees know about how their competitors are doing and how they can maybe help you improve your retention. Mentorship, everyone, is so critical. Lack of career path is a common reason for leaving most jobs. And so with that, my final piece of advice is, how can we incentivize mentorship to cultivate loyalty and community? So maintain mentorships. Once you are so fortunate to have that new employee, ask yourself, do we have a culture of appreciation built in to our organization? How are we promoting team building, which is something young people are craving? Are we keeping on top of those training needs? What growth opportunities are we providing? Young people want to advance, and frankly, they want to advance fast, and other organizations are offering that opportunity. And how can we create and maintain a mentorship program? This is something that one has to sit down with, plan out, but it's a question that should always be on the table. I recently heard of a few organizations, and it's tougher in union shops, of course, but they offer, instead of I shouldn't say they offer, but they, instead of promoting based on seniority primarily, okay, or rewarding based on seniority, they reward based on the number of people that employee can train, or the number of young people they're willing to take on as mentors. Something that's different and worth maybe exploring. So everybody, as I wrap up here, how to attract and retain young people to the skilled trades. Remember, create value, okay? Really understand your target audience. And once you do, communicate your value to them by creating a message that addresses a need, and then promote that message strategically. As I said before, don't spray and pray, really be focused on your messaging. And then once you're fortunate enough to have them into your organization, don't take them for granted. Okay, we can't do that. Strengthen value, always be asking questions, and find a way to maintain mentorships, which certainly has a result in loyalty. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to talk with all of you. I wish I could be there to actually see any of you in person, maybe another time. If there is any time for me to address any questions, I'd be very happy to. Thank you very much.